I am deeply touched by the presence of all of you, spiritual leaders and concerned individuals gathered from all parts of the world at Palpung Sherabling Monastic Seat. The water for life is what brings us together here. Because no matter what ideology, what religion, and what caste and creeds or race we are, and we can even talk about that from God to animal, because I'm quite sure the gods also need water, because every spiritual tradition uses water in their altar, one way or another, and definitely animals need water. So all living beings, including the flora and fauna, earth itself, need water. So that brings us together here in a most spontaneous and genuine and honest way. If we discuss about politics or religions, then each one of us have some kind of funny bones. And also each one of us have some kind of allergies. But when we talk about water, all of us in absolute, natural, sincere agreement. And as we know, the earth is so much of a water planet. I believe all the planets are. People say there's no water on this planet, that planet, but Earth. I disagree personally, because if there was no water in any other planet or system, they will not stay in one piece. They will be all over the place, and they will cease to exist. So anything that looks like a solid thing is kept together by the water. So there is some kind of water throughout the universe. Even in this space, there is water. And scientists know, and I am not a scientist, but I'm an enthusiast. So water is a combination of 2 or 3 different entities. And at that, or this, or that, I don't want to say because I will make mistakes. But you know better. So that is throughout the universe. Just like helium and atom and so on and so forth is throughout the universe, all pervading. So that way, water is what keeps the universe going, what keeps everything together, what creates the gravity so that sun always rise in the morning 12 hours apart and sets in the evening 12 hours apart. But in Greenland, a little bit different. When I was there, sun set for a very short time. But it's not that the sun, but actually we, the earth, rotate, in a certain way. So the angle makes us have a longer day or shorter day, or day that lasts for 3 months or 1 month. But the way the things are moving is always the same. So this way, everything keep on moving because of gravity, etc., magnetic field, gravity field, etc., and they all happen because of the water. The water plays a very important role. So, without further ado, I like to come to the point because I like to hear what everybody have to say and then act upon the knowledge that I get from all of you. And I do my best up to now, but there is a huge amount, 99% more to do. So that way, I am not going to take up your time, but I am deeply honored, and I know the Palpung Sherabling Monastic Seat and its Sangha bodies, monks, nuns, lay people, everyone is deeply honored to be part of what matters for us all, the water, you know, the whole aspect of water. And one last thing I like to share with you. We have our brother from Greenland. Okay. So, the Greenland is an enormous continent by itself. That's how I see it. And that is absolutely covered by ice. People think it is covered by snow. It is not. There's no snow, very little snow. It is all ice, solid ice of so many hundreds and hundreds of meters thick. So, where the Greenland is melting, as the scientists tell us, sometime in 2019, sometime in 2019, in one day, 10 billion cubic tons of ice melted in Greenland. I don't think every day throughout the year, but that is what they have recorded. So that means for each person on earth, you know, more than 1 cubic tons of fresh water is there for that particular day. And it melted, and that fresh water of 1,000,000-year-old ice became salty water when the threshold of that fresh water met with the threshold of the ocean in that second. So to reverse that salty water into drinkable water, you have to desalinize. And that happened in the split second. So you imagine, and throughout the year, how much water is flowing into the ocean. As a result of that, ocean is rising. But then I believe that we should not worry about the ocean rising. That's what people say. But if ocean rose by 10 feet, what happens? If ocean rose by 20 feet, what happens? If Greenland ice and Antarctica ice all melt, and if there's no more ice left, the ocean will rise by more than 200 feet. You know? So at the level of 200 feet, everything will be under ocean. And we have no land. And countries are fighting to get each other's land. And then at one side we do that, another side we don't pay attention to what is eating up our land. And if that happens, many of the coastal cities and many of the island nations will not exist. So that is the reality. And if we speed up the vision by 1,000-fold, then it will be very much like a flooded desert. Everything melts into the water. That's how it will be. So that way, I am not a believer of scare tactic. I am not a believer of doomsday, but the reality is reality. And we all have responsibility to contribute our drop into the great ocean of humanity. So anyway, that is what this is all about. This is not about one particular religion. This is not about one particular ideology. This is about reality. And thank you for coming here. Wish you all my best in all of your life. You will be able to fulfill your sincere wish. Of course, we all have not so sincere wish as well. So they also should be fulfilled, but only if they are not harmful for others and not harmful for yourself. Then those rubbish dreams also should be fulfilled, but the deep, sincere, meaningful dreams and wishes should be truly fulfilled. Thank you.
Okay, so we heard so much wonderful words as well as lots of blessings from all the participants in their prayers and also from all the messages. It is very encouraging, and it fills the air with lots of goodness and harmony. As you know, this is almost spontaneous, where we came together. But in ultimate sense, in Buddhist philosophy, there's nothing that is 100% spontaneous, and there is nothing which is not spontaneous 100%. So everything is part of each other. Having said that, what brings us together here is this commonness about the water. I want to share one very obvious thing about Tibetan Buddhism, particularly. Our Supreme Head and our Supreme Guru is His Holiness Dalai Lama. And what is the word Dalai means? It means ocean. You see? So right there on the top, it is the ocean. Ocean of wisdom, ocean of compassion, ocean of love. So this way, it is more than apparent. It is absolutely essential and obvious what ocean, the water, represents. And at the same time, why I say this gathering is very inspiring for me, because first of all, I as a Buddhist, you can see, I'm a Buddhist, I'm a monk, and I am Taisitu, which have a history of 2,600 years. So that is, I can't hide or shy away from that. But beneath all of that, I am a human being, just like each and every one of the 7.5 billion human beings on earth. Just one. And I am one of the sentient beings of 6 realms, from God to hell. I am one of the sentient beings. My potential ultimate and potential of a mosquito is equal, absolutely equal. So that is how we believe, how we think, and how we function. So therefore, when some people say, is Buddhism a religion or not? I used to argue and say it is a religion. It is one of the world's great religion. But then when I grow a little older, and then I came to realize maybe there's some truth in that a pause. The people pause. Is Buddhism a religion or not? There is some truth in there. There's some reason there. But still, I think it is one of the world's great religion. I'm very comfortable among it. Now, one more thing. When we do things like this event, many times we end up keeping it as a nice memory. And then we go home and we hide behind our comfort zone, and we carry on with our old habits, so on and so forth. That's absolutely all right. But getting together, doing something like this, have to have some kind of everlasting effect and impact on our mind and our way of life. Of course, I think I am not a gullible person, you know. I think I'm a pragmatic person. I try to pretend to be one. But having said that, there's so many things that we all do without so much of a deep thinking. And we end up being one of the stereotype, and particularly this time of peace event and the participants in the peace efforts. Of course, stereotype is okay, but we should be a little bit more efficient and effective than just one of the many of hundreds of things that we ourselves have engaged without so much of an impact from it and without so much of a follow-up from it. So that part I like to really put into my mind. I wanted to put into your mind. And we have a saying. We say, carve it on my ribs, carve it in my skull, so that way it goes deep and stays with us. Now, one last thing, but I share you a few examples. In this holy land of India, Mahatma Gandhi, you know, his concept, and not only concept, his practice of ahimsa, which is very easy to remember, ahimsa, and also very easy to understand, non-violence. So that way, this great nation, Republic of India, is born. And so that is one example. And then there's so many, but another is like the great humanitarian and also love and compassion champion, Mother Teresa. Her selfless efforts and sacrifice of her life for the sake of poor and needy, especially those who are sick and dying without dignity, is exemplary. And we are not short of examples. And of course, we have His Holiness Dalai Lama, who makes compassion and loving kindness is part of his mission throughout, not only in our community, the happiness. And then so many great things that is done by so many great religious leaders, such as Pope John Paul, you know, who I had a great honor to meet twice, and as part of my active peace humble contribution, my humble contribution. And there's so much throughout the world, so many great examples. So one last thing, this is maybe some people don't agree, but I really think this is very important. People think the world is going backwards. I don't agree. You think of 150 years back in this world, and now 2020. Okay. So many people here, I have a very strange question. Any of you are carrying anything to protect yourself? No? Yeah? So 150 years back, most of you will be carrying something to protect yourself. So don't you think this world became more peaceful and safe? Don't you think so? And don't you think our conscience have improved? Don't you think so? So this way, it is, the example is everywhere. Of course, world have so many problems, economic problems, and also there's so many wars going on, so many problems coming from inequality, so on and so forth. Of course, there's no denying of that. But above all, world became more secure and safe and peaceful. Yes. That is my little personal experience, and I like to share with you. And don't think that we are going backwards, okay? But we have one problem, that is population problem. And also another problem that accompanies that problem, and supply and demand. So this way we produce more waste, and we have so much luxury for having so many things, having entire world, library, movie theater, post office, everything in our pocket today. So this way, you know, we get a little bit confused from time to time. But I think these things comes and goes. So one thing will go, another thing will come. Anyway, I am very grateful for all the wonderful energies, wonderful vibrations coming from your thought, your well-being in this place. So all the best, and I have a lot to say, but I think I have to look at my watch, which is over there, above the door. So all the best, and I am looking forward to learn a lot from each and every one of you, not only today, but years to come. We are here on this planet Earth. We can't hide from each other. So we will learn from each other. Okay? Work together in a very spontaneous, organic way. Thank you. So, thank you for all of the wonderful knowledge that you have shared with great experience, expertise about so many subjects, particularly of water, which is our theme here. Active peace, by definition. Of course, I'm responsible for what I say, so I must explain to you. I believe in peace, of course, but peace many times I came across in conferences and symposiums that it is very much of passive aspect of peace, which is of course wonderful. We individually can be peaceful person. We individually can be at peace if we just relax, calm down. Everything's perfect. But that is what we will experience. And its impact on society is not that much. Some immediate persons or beings or even plants around us will feel and be influenced by our peacefulness, of course. But out there in the world, right now we have 7 billion people, 7.5 billion people. And so that impact will be very difficult to reach out. So individually, we meditate, we pray, and we try to be decent as possible and harmonious as possible within ourselves. And that should manifest outside of us, through us. But the world will go on. Life will go on, whether we are peaceful or not. So when it comes outside of us, then there has to be a system in which everybody function, which is already there. We have education system, we have economic system, we have a political system, we have social system, and social norms and this and that, all kind of system. I normally define 9 system, but that is lazy way. There's millions of system. And so all those systems that makes people think where they think, do where they do, what they do. Do what they do and think what they think. So upgrading those systems are extremely, extremely important. For example, right now we are talking about water. And we have to upgrade the way we perceive water and way we interact with water, way we consume water. So all of that we have to upgrade. I give you one example of Buddha's teaching for a monk like me. So when we take ordination, he give us one material, one tool to filter the water. So that is part of our ordination. And what he said, these words exactly, the water, it is close to you. It is easily available. It is used often in everyday life. There is life in the water. So much as possible, you should filter them and put them back into the water and consume the water which is with minimum amount of living beings. So it also tells us there's certain aspect of life in the water we cannot filter. And our gentlemen have mentioned, our brothers mentioned right now with relatively detail. Because of time, they cannot give us all the detail, but we can understand much. We understood much as we should understand at this point. We ourselves will not become water experts right now. So that is their lifetimes of work, and what they have reflected, we have learned something about what water is, more than what we think water is. So, then this one particular word that Buddha has spoken, it is abundant and readily available. So that is 2,600 years ago in India. And I don't know, that time, what is the population of India? I'm sure much, much less than now. Maybe 10% of what we have now, maybe less, I don't know. Historians will know about that. So anyway, now it is not readily available, you know. So we don't have to alter Lord Buddha's word. But in Buddha's teaching, he tells us, my words, my teachings, you don't just take it out of blind faith. You should understand my word and appreciate the truth of my word. Then, when you're convinced, you take it in. So that way, Buddha's words, which says, readily available water, chundi delche, jung so closely available. It is forthcoming close to you. And so these have changed. It is not readily available. Don't mention about 2,600 years. But when I was a kid, not too much of a kid, you know, maybe 15 years old, a teenager, adolescent. When I was an adolescent, I never dreamed or thought about buying bottled water. There's no such thing in our concept. If somebody say, you know, you have to buy water in the bottle, you know, you would be shocked and you think that person is crazy. But now, I'm not antique yet, you know. I'm in my mid-60. So going to be a little bit beyond mid-60. And so at this age, we must buy water. I cannot drink water unless it is in the bottle. And when I went to Europe, you know, they told me I can drink the water from the tap. I feel very uncomfortable because I was in Denmark and the hotel provide glasses there next to the wash basin. And then I thought that is to brush your tooth. And you're supposed to drink. There's no bottled water. So I thought that this cannot be. So I asked around. But then, you know, I came to know that the tap water there is drinkable because they were made drinkable. You know, they just came drinkable. See, so mineral water here we have in bottle, but mineral water there, it comes in the tap. And I was told that I have learned a little bit, if I understood correctly, the system there, it works that public is partner in the water business. They pay, but then they also are part of it. It's not just they pay. So if I understood correctly, so then I can understand, it's wonderful. But then still, it is not readily available. It has to be made and filtered and cleaned up and so on and so forth. So, so this way, as the time and situation evolve, we have to bring up to date. And everything's like that. Truth, we cannot change because truth always remains truth. But way the truth is manifesting and relating to the truth have to change, have to transform, have to evolve. So when I say active peace, I am talking about we have to constantly maintain our mindfulness and awareness in small things in our day-to-day life, as well as big things in the society, as well as bigger things in the whole system in which society functions. For example, what we have learned about water. I have learned two things about water here. One from the madam, that is about, and madam's colleague, so that is about the practical solutions that they were putting with the Rishikesh upstream water. So that is an enormous task. But that is to remedy the wrongs that we have done to mess up our water source. Now, the whole community around the riverbanks, if I understood correctly, have to involve. So that way, it starts from the source, it will go all the way, and along the right side and left side of all the rivers and its tributaries, and then have to go all the way to the ocean. It is an enormous undertaking. But at the same time, if the perception and idea and consciousness is evolved, then it is almost a piece of cake. Because everybody have to deal with the water, as Buddha say, every day. And then if they know how to deal with it correctly, then the job is done. But to get to that place, the place B, from the present state of mind, place A, is a big, big, big journey. And when we reach there, then it will go almost spontaneously, because that is how we know how to deal with the things. In this case, how to deal with the water. And another thing that I have learned is about the living water. Wisdom, I will call it wisdom water. Harmony water. So this way, then most of us normally think water is something that flows, and then you just take a bucket and scoop it up and take home, and then put your dirty laundries in it, and then take another bucket and take home, and then you make teas and you cook rice and things with it. So things like that, that's water. But here, what is water? As His Excellency have mentioned about the 5 elements and the secret aspect of water, that is what popularly known as tantric teachings of Buddha. So the Buddha taught about all aspects of skandha, out of which the entire being manifests, and also all aspects of emotions, anger, jealousy, greed, fear, so on and so forth, self-centeredness, so on and so forth. So all of this is very clearly pointed out by Buddha. It is all with a very basic source it derives. So, what is the source of all of that? Is self, the I. I. And I, the self, the ego, the ignorance, all four are the four different names for the same thing. So I is ignorance. Ignorance is I. I is self. Self is I. I is ego. Ego is I. So on and so forth. So this way, everything derives from it. Then when that ego is so negative, that it can become greed, hatred, jealousy, ego pride, etc. But when that is little bit tamed, or as water experts here have mentioned, what did you say? Water in order, right? Not chaotic, little bit in order. Then that greed is still there, but it becomes attachment. And then that anger is there, but it becomes liking and disliking. So you like to be a good person. You don't like to be a bad person. You know, so you are rejecting to be a bad person. That is a little bit of aggression is there, but not bad one. A little bit more orderly one. And so like to be a good person is attachment, but that is little bit positive one. So this, it does not deserve the word greed. So this way, then step by step. But then, when it goes further, then attachment becomes contentment. You know? So anger becomes compassion. So that way, it slowly transforms. And so each one of these defilements is associated with different aspect of physical entity. The so-called Tibetan medicine, which is actually two things joined together. Tibetan people existed for tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years, like everybody else. On this earth, all kinds of people existed for tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years. Starting from the Homo sapien, Neanderthal, all the way. So that way, everyone have a culture, everyone have a background, everyone have a system. So the one aspect of Tibetan medicine is coming from that, and which involves pre-Buddhist religion of Tibet, which evolved sometime in the past. Before Buddhism came to Tibet, of course, which is Bon, ancient religion of Tibet. So then, when the Buddhism came to Tibet from India, then the special teachings of Lord Buddha about medicine, which comes with the specific terminology like healing. So this teaching is purely from Buddha. So this joined together. Then I was told by medical experts that the Greek medicine, then ancient Indian medicine, which exists in India before Buddha, also, and from Iran, all this Persian, very old tradition. And so all of that come together, that is Tibetan medicine. But Tibetan medicine is very, 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 very strongly influenced by the teaching of Buddha. So I will normally call it Buddhist medicine. So anyway, in that, there is three things in the body, human body. One is wind, one is bile, and one is phlegm. So these three things, one associates with attachment, one associates with the anger, one associates with ignorance. So these three things. So three entities in the body. So when they are out of balance, then you become sick. And then these sicknesses are a reflection of your greed, hatred, and ignorance. There's many ways to interpret that, but simple way. That is the simple way. So now we go one step further. Then there's 5 elements. And 5 elements is earth, water, fire, air, and space. The 5 elements that our brother here explained is very much also there, but that is more into astrology, wood and metal and all of that. So that goes into the astrology. That is also very, very serious and valid. And so in the teaching of Tantra, the 5 elements, now this 5 element transforms into, and 5 defilement transforms into 5 wisdom. Now in that, now I will not go into all the other elements, but water. So water is what? Water is associated with attachment, the greed. We always use this word in so many languages. I have thirst for something. And so this is like water. How much we drink, we will never be satisfied. We have to drink every day. We have to drink every hour. And to wash ourselves, we have to wash with the water again and again. And many, many liters we have to use every day. So this way, it is a very important part of our whole system. Now, the water element transformed, as His Excellency say, is a feminine aspect of the 5 Buddha family. So there's each defilement, each element represents, when it is transformed, it is represented by 5 Buddha family. Each one of the 5 Buddha family have muscular aspect and feminine aspect. So all of the feminine aspect is more of a water aspect. And all of the muscular aspect is, we call it method. So anyway, water and wisdom. Now it is connected. So how does wisdom and the greed associate? In this context, we wanted to know. We will never be satisfied if you are a seeker, because you wanted to know. And we cannot know everything, because there's so much to know. And even you know so many things, you still don't know fraction of what is there to know. Therefore, it is enormous. Our wisdom potential can never be fulfilled by one thing. So therefore, when we'll reach the Buddhahood, it is not that we have learned about everything, but we have undone all of the dualistic clingings on everything. Then that can happen to us when we know the essence of everything by realizing the essence of one. What is that? It can be anything. But easiest one is you know the essence of yourself. You know? You don't have to intrude in anybody's life, but you just know your essence. You know who you are. I like to share one of my childhood, I'm a teenage, adolescent times, favorite terminology coming from West. It came in a form of a song, and it says, "Once I was lost, now I am found." You know, it is about amazing grace. So you are never lost, but you never recognized yourself. And when you recognize yourself, then you are at peace. If you are at peace with yourself, you are at peace with everything. And all the people who make wars in this world in the past, so many centuries, they are not at peace with themselves. Therefore, they have to make war, conquer, in order to feel they are somebody. They have to have someone under their foot and screaming and yelling, and then they feel they are powerful. And which is the wrong way, because we never got anything out of all those aggressions that human beings have afflicted upon other human beings, upon animals, and a very strange way upon our own environment, which is our home. So it is like we pull down one beam and burn it to cook our chapati, cook our bread. Then after some time we have no roof. Then we only think about, oh, what happened to my roof? It all went in smoke, cooking my everyday bread. Like that, that's what we are doing. So this way, I sincerely feel that it is very timely that everybody throughout the world is waking up and thinking of doing something, and then they find out doing something for the humanity is the best that they could do. And then if you do everything for humanity, you have taken care of yourself, because you are part of the humanity. You don't have to do something on top of it for yourself. So this is one thing. And now, without taking that much time, because I like to hear more, I really I really have very fond memory of His Excellency, late Murshid Karambakh. I only met him once, so it is very strange. He said things to me. I think Madame Brigitte was there, looking into my eyes, and he sees somebody in my eyes. I'm not going to repeat it. That is too private, But anyway, I really felt that something very strange. It's like meeting an old friend. He's old, of course. He was, when he passed away, he was 97. He was 97. When I met him, about 96. So he's an old person. But I felt an old friend. And so as a result of our meeting, then many things stay in my head. And one of that is what we are doing here. I have been doing things with the motivation of active peace since late 70s. So it is about 40 years. But now this is one of the very nice things. Even it is only one day. I feel it is like 1 month. I have learned a lot here. I felt lots of wonderful feelings here. And so I wanted to let you know that. And then I wanted to share with you about the
significance of merging of the water. Because the water that is represented here is actually livelihood of more than a billion people. And the world have 7.5 billion. So this represents the livelihood of about over 1 billion people. And then I don't know the length of the Greenland water, because I should say that should be around the earth, but all the other rivers put together, it will go further than halfway around the world. If we go the pole to pole to pole. So because that way closer. And middle of the earth is a little bit of a pot belly. So it have more kilometers. So this way it goes more than halfway around the world. It is very significant. For me, water is, outer water is a source of life, technically. And merging symbolizes the truth, symbolizes the ocean. Again, I can't help but, getting these flashes of His Holiness Dalai Lama, Ocean Lama, yes, great ocean. So the ocean comes to my mind. All the waters are merged in ocean. Ocean is one. One water, one humanity, one ocean. So that way, this is a very symbolic, it have great symbolism in my mind that we have merged this water. And it doesn't take much effort to merge it, just there. Just put in that glass container. It's merged. But if we have to unmerge it, my goodness, we have to borrow several $1 billion from the World Bank to do that, Unmerge that water, which we just did in a few minutes, will be next to impossibility. Molecule to molecule, atom to atom. I think I have to come to water experts here and there, and they have to work for maybe next 100 years to separate them. Yes. So that way, once it is understood and it is put into practice, unity is not difficult at all. Unity is peace. Unity is great. Unity feels good. If you are in harmony, you feel good. If you are not in harmony, you feel restless. And many people kill themselves, take their own life. Somebody don't have to take their life. They take their own life because they don't feel at peace. They don't feel the harmony. So that way, I really feel our effort here, although it is a humble effort, but it has great symbolism, and it will stay in my mind, and it will affect all the things that I will do as part of my duty. Of course, I have 2,600-year-old duty. So me, a humble person, just me, have to do that kind of thing. But anyway, once I think I am the servant of all of those great beings who I represent, who stretch for 2,600 years, then I have no problem. Because I'm a loyal servant, I do my best. So that is my way of expressing sincere appreciation for everyone. And then one last thing, that is everyone's effort will make this world better. Everyone, it should be our my personal humble slogan. Everyone's effort
will make this world better. The better world is for the next generation. We are okay. In our generation, sky is not going to fall on our head. You know, Mr. Asterisks and obliques don't have to worry. Sky will not fall down. Okay, but the next generation, sky definitely going to fall on their head if we do not do our job. So it is our duty that we take care of this present scenario by using our past experience. Okay, and I want to say a few words in Tibetan. That tarin dinala dine chuge tola mixege chuge tola dine tsembege dine zambulinge shidege tandala nganzo chondude chigiware dine shide sengente dine mirererege shidete de nyangelen dabane shiwawo songbatere de yongya yore inaya dine maompege lo jata tongta ge ringlan zambulinge mitamjela jenro tamjela dine deji yongya shiwata dewa yongya ti dine da ngaran suge tatagen zambulin dige nang le yobege shiyuen dang benjur dang tel koryu la soba tenzu changmege tola dine tatagi padula nyamcha 가르친 yoba tenzu kange tola samna yakboji tane dine chula susula labjon teba chene dine denga nyamcha chimba tenzu sarso chiya tang denga nyamcha machimba tenzu kone komperda tangju tang maon pala chisam tane riba zamburning semchen tamche la chisam tane dine yakboji yongwa kanga kuyu yakbo yongwa tenajingi shiyuen yakbo yongwa benjuri yakbo yongwa jichoge denja yakbo yongwa gansa jite ge ton samno tangne chigu yore de chiya de dine nganzu zamburning yobeke me 동슈 dunchu tamba changme ge lengge re nganzu jigla gugde ya yo ma re dine chudi mixe re garare sana zambuling ge nangla dine ta zambuling dig sagon dig nangla dunchu zamji jacha dunchu zamji dine churi yo re ti indu jamsoda chu zangbo da 초다 던주기 드네 사데 강요래 된다 인도 드네 추디게 낭라 다 탄다 베나 잠수고 춘다버 이랑 아주 통로고 말에 차출해 드네 추 장마데 강당 든제나마 용구요래 다 되게 추 던저게 푹데 매번 로디 아니 장보 강가 약보 매바 차그래 디 차바이나 다단히 차와래 냐만 나 춘춘 그깔 나 로정아 주루깔 추 보돌 나는 요스는 고야 요 말에 항상 그래 다 등산 보돌을 만년나 통야도와 뒤져버려 근데 인도 다 마음발라 드네 간대지 차그래 로 숨지 집중 나는 근데 차 잡으러 와다 마음발라 로 집중 앞중 나는 가르쳐 그래 근데 차바이나 드는 잠불링라 빼 강에 망보 용야 타 쳐버려 다때는 남시군 주도 다든솔라 때네 세바 체르치 때네 남 장사 든솔라 장루치 세바 여서 든솔라 세바 차루치 다 강간 축네 지난 주원 축비 주진선 송구여 봐 어텐데스는 망보 용구여래 든솔 강가 마용 바디 미게 쏘고 그래 든솔 강가 미게 쏘자 버래 다 가시직 미게 쏘바 말이 빼나 니마단 잠불링이 타 통run도야 한다고 당 디나 디선저 버튼데 미기소에 말와 이나양 디네 산이야 랑바 두가든저 야 치네 디게 디네 님의 그 죄든저 딱딱지 마데네 든솔라데네 잠불링게 디나 남시든저 주도 첨부 용야 디나진가 안주 그 눈망보 배죠 당네 든데라데나 남시 주도 용야 든저간가 미기소 버당데 안주랑 그소에 잡으래 디는 안주 즈바티 미게 즈바티 미게 파 디네 따다 조고를 마도 수강 그소 두고 말해 조고 말해 딘데 인도 디네 what we have done, we are responsible to fix it. We humanities. And we can't say that somebody have done it, because even somebody pulled the roof of our head. We can't say somebody did it. If you don't do anything, you cannot live there. You don't have a roof over your head. You did it or somebody did it, doesn't matter. You have to fix it if you want to live in it. So, tā ngā rā sū mī kī chēpē kī lēkā tē mī kī pā tīne sō gu gu yō rē. Yemā chī kī chēpā rē sā nā dīgi yō mā rē. Pē nā sō sō dē sē kāngbā kī tō tē mā tīne lūk chā ndū nā. Tā mī chī kī lūk bā rē sā nā tē lā rō lā nē ngā rā tē nā dē dē kā chī tā ngā rā nyāng kī rā wā. Chāpā pā nā chū lēp kī rē, nīmā shā nā tsī kī rē, tīne dīgi mī ndō wā. Tīne tā ngā rā dē sā yī tē nā dē gu yō nā yā zō gu rā wā. Mā shīng kēn sū yī nā tī kē chā kāng yō mā rā wā. Tindaburi, jisam seya de pe kechimburwa. Jiki chabari sena telapa ka na deya di dine jisoga nana ha jangi chonggu chenpo yongya jiri jisam meba di. Di yindu jila samno tangu ure. Da gumbe nanga chaba tsuda jisam yabo yuwari, lega yabo legidu. Ina ya jidangi dine jisoga nana jisam de shira kechimburwa. Diri. Tinte sondu kasula tarindina konzo kanga pebare ane yapo chungsine labgi yoyingi ane chanantsuke ta injike gongken kala kanzum yuwarwa di indu dine konzo karishi son chen yujire dinzo tule jaya kechimborre ane ngaransu jiso ke nangla shamdik shuya tang dine nganzo miji inbeke chane zambulin dige tola maompa la mirab jema chola tini jungwe ke nepatang tin najin ke kansa chite ke tone kange chimbo mayong pe ke tini ta ramdik o tin najin ke tini nyengo tinzo nganzu ke che tukre tinzo nganzu ke che gugre yang chibuje po langche ne tiri chibuje ing parche ne tanga chibuje chejegin zu jugdena ani umada ruba ani chamthana ani donato ngode chade digre ani kaya rangjin randem meba yindem meba chagre tenda indu kasule leka yapo khari cheba inaya zabzabchine chiade ke champore ingshidam phajyo mare tena lölöchine chiade ke champore lölöchena leka duburwa ngazung huma pöla laptu yore kale rona nima lasala thangbo chine jokpa legures jokpa rona nima lasala jewa chima padule legu baris what in delagure tinda warwa so the tsame ke tela tel tula ja oya okay so I have taken lots of time but I must say a few words in Tibetan and as His Excellency said we have 3 poles North Pole South Pole and Third Pole Central Pole and the Central Pole is facing lots of degradation same as North Pole and South Pole. All of the glaciers are shrinking as your upstream Rishikesh project is focusing on fixing that problem. It is a very big problem. But I always say, somebody come to me and say, so-and-so is in the hospital. And the person, we think that he's going to die. Shall we keep him in the hospital or take him out of the hospital? I look at them and tell them, why you ask such a stupid question? Until he's dead, he's not dead. And the hospital is meant for people who are sick. So you keep the person in the hospital until the person is dead. Unless it is the person's clear mind decision, then okay, you have to respect. Otherwise, you have to keep until the person is dead, the person is not dead. So until all the ice is gone, still there is ice. Until all the water is gone, still there is water. We can fix it. Okay? All right, all the best. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for coming here. And I must thank all the brothers and sisters who sent us wonderful messages. Thank them from my heart.